Hello guys, this is Green P Grow again talking on your screen. Sorry about that. Today we want to talk about what causes hernias in pig. What causes hernia in pig? You will look at some farm and you will see some pig with a heavy push out from the tummy part of the body, a heavy push out from the tummy, especially near the scrotum. Sometimes will be very inside the scrotum or in the tummy part of the body. When you see something like that, that is a hernia in pig. Most of these things will start right from the time the pig is small, like in piglet form. That is when it will start. So today we want to know what caused all this. Why did some pig has that big bulge coming out from their tummy? Well, stay tuned and listen. I got about 5 factors that contribute to this particular illness in pig. I'm going to discuss about 5 factors. One of these factors is that some pig may have this because they were stretched during bed. That is, some pressure was exerted in the umbilical or the tummy part of the body during bed. What do I mean here? You know, some pig will give birth to buffalo about 10 to 14 or so. So some of the piglet, it may be that the mother is weak or is sleeping, and on the process of pulling this particular piglet out, it may exert some pressure in the tummy part of the pig umbilical or the tummy, the pig umbilical, and of these during this time, some pressure may be exerted in this umbilical part of the little piglet. And when this piglet born, after some time, because of the stress and the pressure that were exerted on the abdomen, this may develop in due time into this hernia in that piglet. That was number one. Another factor is that this same hernia may be caused in piglet due to weakness of body tissue. Yes, the body's tissue is very weak. Because the body's tissue is very weak, this hernia may pull off from the weak body tissue and the piglet come to have the hernia. Yes. Number 3 factor is that the pig has born very well. It do not have a weak body tissue nor stress by the mother during birth. But it may be that after you might have weaned this pig, you put them in a particular place and there are some holes, some small hole inside where you put them. Maybe the pig tried to force itself out of that hole or to enter the hole or to force itself out of where you put them. On the process of trying to go through that small hole, it may stress the abdominal part of the body. That is, it may exert a certain pressure on the abdominal part of the body, that is the tummy part, in order to pass through the hole. And this may result in a sharp pain, which will in turn grow to become hernia. Yes. Piglet trying to force itself out of a small hole may exert a pressure on the tummy part of the body. This may result in a sharp pain, which would in turn become hernia. So you have to control all that in your farm. Another thing is that it is also known that cold temperature may make the pig to cuddle. Cold temperature where the piglet are living, we are talking mostly about the piglet because this disease starts from the piglet. It may be that when you wean your piglet, where you put them is very cold. Where you put them is very cold, and because of the cold temperature, all the pig will go and sleep in one place. They will try to cuddle on each other. And trying to cuddle on each other, on the process of bending themselves to cuddle on each other, this may exert some pressure on the umbilical, that's the tummy part of the abdomen, the tummy part of the body, that pressure, continuous exacting of that pressure as they continually cuddle on each other may develop into hernia. Yes, the process whereby they continue to cuddle on each other, exacting pressure of the abdomen continuously, this may develop into hernia. You may see that maybe your pig was 8 or 9. When you separate them into a different place, you discover that one of them or two of them as a develop hernia in the tummy part of the body. Then another thing is that we can stress this disease to is hereditary. Hereditary in the sense that maybe the male, the boar that fertilized the mother, had this hernia, or there is this hernia genetic in your farm. Maybe this hernia is very rampant in the farm. This one has had it, this one has had it. As long as you continually crossbreed each other, crossbreed the boar and the sow in the farm, you keep on discovering that your pig has been having this hernia. And most often it started from the piglet. Yes. So those are the 5 factors that contribute to this particular hernia in your piglet. These are the 5 factors that may contribute to this particular sickness in your piglet. So now, what about prevention and control? How can we prevent it and how can we control it in our farm? If we discover that our pig are already developed hernia, what can we do in order to control it? And what can we do to stop it from coming into our farm or controlling some of them in our farm? Prevention. Number one of those things is that we don't have to allow our piglet to force itself through a small hole. We don't have to allow our piglet to force itself through a small hole. That is very important. If you separate them and put them in a different place apart from the mother, that is when you wean them, you have to make sure that the house is fully sealed, no hole that they will try to force itself out. Another factor is that you must not put them in a too cold place. That is, if you have a hole on a big place and on weaning your pig, you take them to that big hole or that big pig pen. That means it may be that that place is supposed to be inhabited by 200 pigs. Then you have some few piglets of about 50 and you go and put them there. It's bad. Or maybe that house is so big to accumulate about 20 to 30 mature pigs. On weaning your pig, about 10 of them, you go and put them in that open place. That is too cold for them. It may result in them cuddling on each other, and these two may stress the abdominal body, which may result in hernia in your farm. Yes, that is it. Another thing is that since some of these hernia are caused by weak tissue is the abdominal part of the tummy, some farmers, which is also advisable, do rub iodine on the tummy part of the pig. When they are young, they do rub iodine on the tummy part of the pig so as to tighten the tissue of the tummy part. Yes, they rub some small iodine in the tummy part of the piglet, and this you will do when they are up to 7 days. You don't do when they are too young. At least they must be 7 days or so. But it must work when they are still young. You rub some iodine in their tummy part so as to tighten their tissue so that it may not result in pushing out of this hernia. Especially you have been seeing this in your farm continuously. Another thing is that some major surgery is also required. That is, if you see your pig have started to develop this hernia, then if your farm has been having some operation, that is, if you do castrate your pig, or you have been doing some surgery in your farm, or you know how to make some surgery in terms of piglet, then you can do some minor surgery when this thing starts to come out. You may invite your fake doctor to do that for you, to make some minor surgery if this thing starts to come out. When they operate this minor surgery, that may stop this thing from growing again. You know, when your pig develop this hernia, it's very bad because the price of that pig will seriously reduce. That pig may not even grow. So it's bad to farmers to have this hernia in their pig, and most of the time it's very discouraging to see something of that nature. So we got to do a lot of things in order to prevent this from our farm and to control it. The another factor is that some farmer have been telling me that they do have administer antimicrobial drugs to the newborn piglet so that this may stop the piglet from develop hernia. Some farmers say that they do administer antimicrobial drugs to their piglet. As when the piglet are born and started to become stronger, they administer these drugs to them so that this may stop the hernia from coming out. But well, I don't try that, and I don't encourage anybody that is 100% okay. But some farmers do tell me that it do work, but I cannot sign into that it do work, because most of this antibiotic is not good with the piglet, and sometimes since this is it does not work with bacteria or any other this thing. I'm not too sure that one will work. But what I'm sure of though is that you have to prevent your piglet from having those few stress conditions that I've just mentioned, and also if you can do surgery